Hi friends, I wanted to share a little bit today about my introduction into film photography. So I have been wanting to introduce some more analog creativity into my day-to-day life, and I've been very curious about film photography for a long time now, but because I'm not much of a gearhead, I didn't really know where to start, where to begin with it. So I acquired this Nikon FG. There's a lot of Nikon hate out there, and because I don't know a whole lot about film photography, I am curious to know why people slander Nikon so much. Maybe some of you can inform me and help me figure out maybe where do I go from here as I get more comfortable with film photography. This first roll of film that I shot is Fujufilm's 400 color film. It's pretty affordable, so I just wanted to check it out and use that to sort of blast through some photos and just get a feel for my new camera before investing in more expensive or experimental film types. It has been a really fun experience for me so far. I love taking photos on my Canon, my DSLR, but I do find that there is something really charming and special about working with a more analog camera. And I have really enjoyed just kind of capturing things quickly in the moment rather than ending up with 10 or 15 iterations of the same photo. There is something really cool about going and picking up your prints after you get them developed and just kind of being taken back to where you were and just seeing the really interesting ways that colors and light are captured through the lens of a film camera. I thought it would be fun to just show you all my first roll and how all of the photos came out. I went on a little adventure and I was walking along the Genesee River Trail and snapped some pictures of the city skyline here in Rochester. This photo is my favorite of all of the pictures that I took on this day, and honestly with this whole roll of film. I just really love the way the colors came out in the processed photo. I think the blues look really beautiful against these really nice warm tones of the cement bricks or whatever, the blocks. And I also just really like the framing. I tend to really like more minimal images of architecture and things like that. So I'm trying to find my style and my voice through this new medium of just creating and capturing moments. So yeah, I was kind of just shooting whatever I thought was interesting in the moment so that I could start to understand how my camera interacts with light and how it reproduces color once the film has been processed. So this photo in particular, I do think it's cool just because of the colors. It is certainly a little bit sloppy. I noticed for the very first time walking along this trail that I frequently walk along that this structure had these spray painted little eyeballs on it. So I just wanted to capture that because I thought it was kind of funny, but the photo itself didn't come out quite the way I had hoped. But again, we're just exploring and experimenting here. I took a number of pictures of the Frederick Douglass Susan B. Anthony Bridge because it just has so many interesting angles to capture it from, and all these funky linear shapes coming off of it that I thought were really interesting. So I took a number of photos of the bridge. Something I've been really enjoying about looking at these photos and just getting a feel for film is that the photos, once they're processed, have a look to them that sort of emulates what I would go after in post when I'm editing. It looks really beautiful. It looks like it's already been edited in some capacity, and as a noob to film photography, I just like the way it looks. I think it's important when we kind of take on new hobbies or new creative interests to get comfortable talking about it so that we can better understand what we like, what we don't like, and just feel more of a relationship with that creative modality. So I am challenging myself to not only shoot film, which has been super fun, but I also want to share it with you all and just talk about it and get more acclimated to evaluating and critiquing my own photography. Because as someone who has historically done more hand drawings and things like that, music production, all those sorts of things, photography is something I've always enjoyed, and it's something that I've always sort of dabbled in, but I feel myself wanting to take it much more seriously at this point in my life. I feel like film challenges us to capture moments as they are in their imperfection. I think that with digital photography, we have the ability to capture an image the perfect way, and we can ensure that we got the right capture, right? Whereas with a film camera, there is this anticipation and you don't necessarily know if you got the shot you hope you got. Which brings me to the next thing I wanted to share. I had just returned from a trip to Philly. I took so many pictures. I ran through 2 rolls of film. I was so excited because I felt like I was starting to really get the hang of it. I was starting to really capture things that I found to be interesting and beautiful. I went and brought my film rolls to my shop, had them process everything. I was so excited to go pick up my photos. And I had 2 blank rolls. I was devastated. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I cried. I was just having a really frustrating day yesterday, and the one thing I was so stoked about was getting my photos back, taking a look at them, scanning them into my computer, but they came out blank. However, 2 of the images did come out, and I think what might have happened is me being a noob, I must have incorrectly loaded the film and not realized it. The photos that I did get are pretty interesting. I think initially I was just so frustrated that the majority of my work was lost forever, and that there's nothing I can do to get those photos back, which is definitely a downside to film photography that I don't think I expected to encounter so quickly. But I guess it's better sooner than later when I feel like I'm mastering this and, you know, whatever. Needless to say, the 2 images that were able to be developed are quite interesting because they look like they're like quadruple exposures. You can see my partner standing in the center of these images. You can kind of make out some foliage and buildings in the background. And it looks kind of like an interesting collage of some sort. So while I am very upset that I lost all of my other photos, I am kind of pleased with this weird little mosaic of our weekend. I think it's just kind of interesting. And when I look back at these photos, I will always remember that these were the films that, the film rolls that came back blank. Anyways, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Like I said, have been trying to lean in more to analog activities. I feel like I'm always running from point A to B and I'm rushing through life a lot. So inviting a creative practice that is like really straightforward and quite simple. It's really just about what my eye finds to be interesting in the moment. I feel that inviting that into my life has, I don't know, sparked like a new excitement, and I'm having just so much fun playing with film photography. While I was in Philly over the weekend, I stopped at a really wonderful camera shop called Unique Photo, and they had a ton of different film types that I wasn't expecting to find there, and I picked up a lot of film. I got 7 rolls right here. I feel like I'm falling in love with this craft. I feel like I'm falling in love with the simplicity and the excitement of this activity. I just like haven't really felt sparked in this way with a creative medium in a while. So maybe from time to time, expect some photo content on here, just as I play around with this new hobby, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for being here, thanks for listening and for watching. I encourage you to do something analog today, like get off the screens for a minute, maybe go like pick up your film camera and go take some pictures, or listen to a record, or do something that makes you feel restored and that gives you permission to slow down, especially if it's creative, you get bonus points. As always, subscribe, leave a comment if you got some value from this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.